On everything. There we go.
Hi, AB3. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. How's life in LA?
Oh, it's kind of cold right now, but it's a nice break from the constant heat we get otherwise. So
Good. Well, Ottawa, we snowed today, so we're definitely counting down to spring. And yeah, let's get right into our next topic, AB3. So today I want to talk about something that you and I have talked about many, many times, and it's about should you take dating advice from your girlfriends? So I've asked you this question so many times, AB3. Why don't you start off? What do you typically tell me when I ask you that and I call you and I'm so frustrated?
Um, you know, let me give my I'm not a sexist caveat disclaimer, which I do in all my videos. But I always say don't listen to them for the most part. It just seems the advice that they give, even to their own girlfriends or to their guy friends, is typically the opposite of what you should probably do in real life.
Okay, good point. And I've taken that advice and I've noticed what I've been doing when girlfriends ask me for advice. I've actually realized from my own experience that when you ask someone for advice, you're actually not looking for too much advice. And maybe that's why I like going to you because you kind of keep things really simple. And sometimes your girlfriends do this thing like where they get on like their hater man syndrome, you know what I mean? And then they go and then I know for me, I'm almost worried now. I don't want to ask them too much because then what if this guy turns around, he's like the guy in my dreams and we've spent 80% of the time like bad talking him. Like I just think it's bad karma. So for me, what I've been doing now, and my friends are actually alarmed, but when someone comes to me in my office, they're like, "Oh, Sam, this happened. I'm so angry." I'm often trying to turn it back to them and being like, "Well, what do you think?" and get them to dig deeper and deeper. Because actually, that's something I really enjoy about our conversations, AB3. You get me to think out loud. And really, I think when people are asking for advice, that's all they're really looking for. They're looking for an outlet to maybe vent or think out their own ideas versus getting advice. But I would say the number one reason to not listen to your girlfriends is because they're protective of you. They love you so much. They
Yeah.
never think any guy is good enough for you. So they're going to instantly kind of just like leap onto something negative. So if you tell them something bad, I mean, I'm not telling you to lie to your girlfriends, but maybe think twice before you ask them for advice on everything.
Very true. It's very true because of the fact that they are protective of you. When you give them a question about a guy or some hardship you're going through in a relationship, often they're going to vilify the guy without even knowing him, and like you said, become protective and not necessarily give you a clear judgment of it because already, since they know what a great girl you are, they're going to say things against the guy, even though they don't necessarily always know the guy's position. So they're giving you kind of like blind advice, right? So.
Exactly.
Great.
So let's flip it then. Why should we get advice from our guy friends?
Well, the good thing with guys is, if you're a girl asking a guy for advice, unless he has a romantic interest in you, he's generally going to give you the straight up about how the guy's thinking. So, whereas I notice sometimes when we ask girls for advice, they're giving you an emotional answer instead of putting themselves into the guy's head, which they can't really do. And, it's hard for us to put each other in the other's head because guys think very different than girls. But guys typically are better at not getting as emotional in their discussion or their analysis of a situation, and that's just a men-woman brain difference in terms of how we analyze situations. So that's why it can be better. But mind you, having said that, it certainly is not uncommon for if a guy you ask a guy that has some sort of interest in you, he's obviously going to give you shitty advice because he may have an ulterior motive. So.
No, and that's a very good point. Um, and I think as I get older, I realize that I'm more interested in less talking and more thinking. And I think when you're 16 and you're talking about guys, it's so fun and you talk about it to death. But as you get older, you kind of want to make decisions for yourself. So to recap this conversation, AB3, should we be asking our girlfriends, should we or should we not be asking girlfriends for our dating advice? We're basically saying, you know what, before you go and talk to your girlfriend, maybe take some time to try to figure it out yourself, or use that opportunity when you're talking to your friend to just say, like, look, I just want to talk this out myself. 3, as a girlfriend, with the girlfriend coming for advice, be careful about vilifying the guy, because I like what you said about that, AB3. And then the 4th point I want to bring up is that, yes, don't just consider girls and girlfriends as someone to go to. Think about the guy friends in your life. But girls, beware. If the guy likes you, you might not be. If the guy, is romantically interested in you, he might actually be giving you advice to sabotage. Luckily, AB3, you've been awesome for me. So far, so good. Your advice has really helped me truck along on this dating adventure. So, until next time, can't wait for other words of wisdom you'll share with me.
Sounds good. It's been a pleasure. And if I may just add one really quick point to this whole discussion, look for role models when you're looking for advice in a situation in a relationship, girl or guy. Make sure the person you're asking information from, let's say it is a girl, make sure she's been through the same situation you have and has come out on the other end successfully. If she has, go ahead, take her advice, because she's living proof. Because a lot of people will give you advice that they themselves wouldn't take for them, in their own, if they were in the same situation. So that's why it's better to look for what I always refer to as role models. So that's the last thing I'd like to add to that.
Oh, I love that. And you're right. I have been doing that more and more. I've been looking at couples and married couples that I love, and I'm actually, sometimes I'm a bit shy to ask them, but once you kind of open that conversation up, people are actually really open. And if you're vulnerable and just say, like, look, I'm in the dating world and I see what you have, and everyone will tell you, look, no relationship's perfect. And I think that that's actually the perfect starting disclaimer, because if someone tells you everything is great, they're lying. But yeah, take advice from role models. I like that. That's why we keep you around, AB3. You're so wise.
I haven't got my pink slip yet, so.
All right. Well, have fun in LA today. And if you liked our video, please be sure to like and comment and ask us any questions. We're looking forward to answering more of them. Have a good night.
Okay, you too. Talk to you later.